The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers, a president and founder of Akers Financial Group. Here with me today is Sam Payne. Sam Payne has over 40 years experience. In fact, 40 years is this month, experience in the financial service industry. He's also a certified National Social Security Association, certified through them, right, Sam?
Exactly. National Social Security Association is a certification program for those.
I cannot say those words that fast, Sam. But the idea is this, is everybody's listening to Winning in Retirement, and we like to bring some topics and bring experts in to help you understand the decisions that you need to make. And Sam and I have been working in the factory or the incubator creating this show.
Yep.
This show is a combination of things. You can go to our website, akersfinancialgroup.com, and always hear the show again and again to get the information that we're going to cover. And that is this. This show is called Starting Social Security. We're going to talk about everything, well, not everything, as much as we can in this time period about Social Security and how it fits in our retirement plan.
Right.
No matter what people think, if it's going to exist or not exist, all kinds of topics we're covering today.
Exactly. There's a lot to cover, but we don't have enough time to cover everything.
That's very true. So Sam and I have been working together for more than a decade throughout different speeches he's given for my clients, and he's really helped me a lot as we built a financial planning practice here around the Mid-Atlantic region. Now, Akers Financial Group, we really seek to make sure that people are working for their best retirement. In fact, we want them to be winning in retirement because they made the right decisions all along the way. So if you hear the show and you're thinking about Social Security and you're too young, you want to turn the show off, leave it on for a while. You're going to see how this applies and how it should be incorporated in your planning. All right, Sam, so we're going to get started. We're going to talk about Social Security basics. Is that all right?
That sounds great.
Now, if you're going to teach someone what Social Security is and lay the groundwork, how would you do that?
The first thing I would let people know is what Social Security was originally started for. 1935, Social Security was created to pull seniors out of poverty after the Great Depression.
Okay.
It was never intended to be a retirement program for every American. That's what it's ended up to be. Mm-hmm. That's not what it started out to be.
And that was 1935. Right. The design was started, and then they started paying out a few years after that.
Yes, exactly.
Now, Social Security was started in the 30s, but now we're here in the 2020s? Yeah, in the roaring 20s of the 21st century.
Yes.
Now, Social Security, there's lots of thoughts, and one of the things that we're going to cover is just some basic rules.
Right.
So the rule today, if someone wants to be eligible for Social Security, what's the basic age that people have to be?
You can start claiming Social Security if you choose at as early as age 62 off of your work record. Okay. That's the beginning. Your primary insurance amount, the dates are the time when you can claim Social Security your full retirement age. For most people who are turning 62 today is 67.
And that's because if you're born 1960, guess what? You're 63 this year. 63. So last year was your first year for 62. Now, how many people draw at 62 in America nowadays?
Surprisingly, we were talking about this earlier. That number used to be 35% of men claimed at age 62. That number has dropped over the last 2 decades down to, right now, 23% of men currently claim at age 62. That's a full 0.25% of the workforce is claiming Social Security early. The question is, does it make sense to do so?
Sure. And do you have stats on the women also?
The women currently are 24, down from 40%.
Okay. And that's just a change over how many years?
I think it's over the last 20 years.
Okay. So what's happening is that people are actually paying attention on when to draw, but there's another factor you and I talked about, and that is the fact that pensions have been going away. And so the idea of, I'll have my pension and Social Security, I'll be fine. People are looking at retirement and thinking, I don't have a pension, I have Social Security. And it's more valuable decision on when I should start that. And maybe I should listen to a radio show like Winning in Retirement and understand the differences between drawing at 62 and age 66, 67, or even 70.
I agree 100%. I think people are starting to recognize that optimizing that Social Security benefit to their benefit is really what every American needs to do. And that message, that optimization is not the same for everybody.
All right, so 62 is the earliest you can draw on your own record or draw off of someone else. Now there's an important date called 67. So if you're born in 1960 or later, 67 is important for what reason?
That is your full retirement age, the age at which you can get your full Social Security benefit. Anytime before that, you have a reduced benefit, and that benefit can be taken away if you have earnings.
Yeah, and those are big, huge topics.
Huge.
So 67, full retirement age, means this. If you hit 67th birthday, the next month you can start drawing your Social Security. There's no concern, no loss of the Social Security for making too much money. You can make as much as you want and draw Social Security both. And that's not a bad thing to do at FRA, full retirement age.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, the longest that we can wait is age 70.
True. You can wait to age 70, and if you do so, as you well know, you have an increased benefit.
Yep, absolutely. So the increase is by 8% a year after your FRA, your full retirement age, and grows to age 70.
Exactly. And one thing I would add is primary insurance amount. Primary insurance amount is something you'll see on your Social Security statement. That's an important number. Mm-hmm. That number is the number that all other benefits are based on. When you claim early, it's based on your primary insurance amount. If you claim late, it's based off of that primary insurance amount. So knowing that is important.
Yeah, so one of the things you need to do is go to ssa.gov and set up your Social Security account. You don't have to be young or old or whatever age to do it. You can be young, extremely young, and set up this account and check your numbers and see what's projecting out. And there's a few things you can do on the website where you can say, what if I stop working completely at 55? How does that affect my numbers? Am I okay? What's that number I can try to reasonably expect in the future?
Absolutely, and recognize that there's some great calculators on that website, but that website takes a little effort on your part because the Social Security Administration wants to make sure that you're the right person to get the information on your Social Security number.
All right, so one of my trick questions was how long can somebody wait? And you said 70. Now, the reality is 70 and a half is not like the latest you can wait and still get money, because I actually had a client who was 72. It was a radio listener. They called in and they said, I need to talk about Social Security. And I said, well, how old are you? 72. Have you started drawing yet? Oh, no, not yet. I'm still under a health plan through work, and I was concerned about losing my health plan. And I tried to demonstrate through the law how Social Security income and the Medicare system are different. They're separated, not tied together. And that Social Security, being 72, he could only get 6 months back in a lump sum check. We couldn't go all the way back to age 70. So when you're at 70th birthday, get out there and draw your Social Security. That's the maximum number. If you wait beyond 6 months, they can only go back 6 months and give you a lump sum for what you missed out on. That's just something a radio listener actually had to learn by listening to the show. I thought you guys would like some information like that.
No, that's great information. So they'll go 6 months past the 70 and give you that benefit back.
Absolutely.
Sum.
So the other thing to do is the math of Social Security. Imagine that full retirement age is 67. Anytime you retire before that, any month before that, it's going to be reduced. Generally, if it's your benefit, it's going to be reduced by about 0.5% a month when you do the math compared to your age 67 if you're born 1960 or later. Now, the other thing is that if you wait after 67, it grows at an 8% a year rate, which sounds good, and it could grow. And so that leads to lots of different pieces. Now, Social Security, there's a lot of concern about Social Security. Our Social Security statement for many years has been telling us that Social Security has sort of a math problem. Can you just begin to explain some of the Social Security issues that they face to the long-term future?
Yeah, the Social Security Administration puts out an annual trustees report. And in that trustees report, they do the math on their trust fund, the funds that they pay the Social Security benefits from. The math currently, from this year's report, indicates that because the number of workers paying into Social Security is reduced and the costs of Social Security have gone up, that trust fund is going to run out of money in 2033. That's going to require some changes. The question is, what are those changes? What are the changes to the Social Security program at that time? There are a lot of ideas being thrown around. The one idea that you will see on your Social Security statement is that if nothing changes, the Social Security benefits for all beneficiaries will drop 24%. I don't think that's going to happen. I think there are other things that are going to happen that will keep Social Security solvent and continue those benefit payments. But there is certainly a change coming. It's in the wind. We just don't know what that total change is going to be and when it's going to be effective.
Yeah, I like to think about that a lot and try to guess where the law might go. So imagine there's a very large voter piece called baby boomers.
Yep.
So we have this year, they're 60, I guess 1960, it makes you 63 this year, but the baby boomers go to 1964. So we actually have a couple more years here during the baby boomer entry level into Social Security as they're beginning.
3 more.
And then I think something might change on that early entry, possibly.
Yeah.
They might extend some things. They might make it means tested. There's just a lot of things that could happen in the future based on the amount of citizens that would apply. Because the amount of people applying daily for Social Security has just got to be overwhelming for Social Security system. And that's why it's a little slow and why you need to apply 3 to 4 months early before you expect a check to show up in your account.
Absolutely. Yep.
So what we've been talking about today is this, starting Social Security. And what we do is we have Sam Payne. He is a certified by the National Social Security Association to give talks about Social Security and train people and help them to understand what's going on. Now, the reason we do this is this. At Akers Financial Group, we want you to know that the best part of retirement is when you get your time back, where you decide how to use it. Before retirement, your time is tied up with other commitments, mainly your job. A lot of that goes away in your retirement. Your time is now consumed by things that you really want to do. It's so easy to begin winning in retirement. Go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com, scroll to the Schedule a Meeting section, and let us know you'd like to schedule your free consultation with one of our team of advisors. That's akersfinancialgroup.com, or call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule that free in-person or Zoom meeting. Go to akersfinancialgroup.com or call us at 833-946-7384 to start planning for your retirement now. What is the main factor you should use when determining when to start Social Security? We'll explain when we return in just a moment.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm the host, Brian Akers, from Akers Financial Group. I'm a certified financial planning practitioner. I'm president and founder of Akers Financial Group, and we welcome you to our radio podcast, Winning in Retirement. Today's show is called Starting Social Security, and so we brought in a certified National Social Security Association instructor, Sam Payne, to go over some of the rules and information on Social Security to help people make decisions. But honestly, it's hard to make a decision listening to a radio show. We don't even want you making a decision after listening to a show. But understand some of the thoughts and the options so that you can then work with a financial advisor who understands the decision on Social Security. This is $1 million decision, and that's why we need to talk about it. So starting Social Security, Sam Payne, you've been in the business 40 years this month?
40 years, yes.
That's amazing, Sam.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, but yes, 40 years.
40 years goes quick.
It does. It's gone by like a flash.
Yeah, I'm on 36 years, and I'm hoping to put a few more in.
You know what it feels like then?
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
We've seen a lot happen in our time.
A lot has happened. Social Security's had some changes over that time period. Yes. And this all affects the topic of our show called Starting Social Security. And this quarter, the second quarter, we want to talk about what is that main factor you should use when determining when to start Social Security. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be a discussion between you and me. We could do point counterpoint. We can do like a little bit of boxing match. Which way you want to go with this, Sam?
Well, let's go boxing.
All right, you're going to win that.
Rope-a-dope.
Yeah, I'll take the hits for 9 rounds and come back. I saw the George Foreman movie.
Yep. There you go.
Muhammad Ali movie, sorry. A little bit of both.
Muhammad Ali, the butterfly, yes.
All right, so what is the main factor, in your opinion, when people want to draw Social Security? What's that number one factor?
I think the main thing is longevity. How long are you going to live?
You were reading my notes. You stole my answer, Sam.
But that being said, unfortunately, for the longest time, there has been the perception that everybody should claim at 62.
Yeah.
And you've been in this business a long time, so have I, and blanket statements are dangerous in our position.
Yes, there isn't no automatic. It's almost like sometimes I'm against writing financial planning books because people might say, oh, that's the answer. And the thing is it's a personal book. It's a personal financial fingerprint. It's a personal answer. It's personal coaching that gets us the answer. Same thing on Social Security. What is best for you and your family is how you decide, rather than just deciding, oh, I'm 62, happy birthday, give me my Social Security check. That's not the best thing to do. And like you're saying, in the first quarter is that the country is actually, on average, less people are drawing at 62 right now, which I see to be good news for their own financial stability long term, and probably not the best news for Social Security, because they would actually like people to take less out by drawing early.
Absolutely. When we think of the factors, yes, longevity is the primary factor, but it's not just your longevity. It's the longevity of those that depend upon you and will collect Social Security based on their lives as well.
Yeah, so what you're talking about there is that they have a husband and wife, you have a spouses connected together. Those spouses have the ability to draw on another's benefit.
Right.
And so if a person draws their benefit and passes away, their spouse can take that benefit and take that full benefit or their own, whichever is higher.
Yeah, there's a spousal benefit and there's the widow or widower benefit. Mm-hmm. Both of those benefits are based off the primary insurance amount, like I talked about in the prior session.
Sure.
And the greater the primary insurance amount, the greater that benefit, the greater cost of living adjustments would be applied to that and help the person who's left,
right,
who has to continue claiming for as long as they're alive.
Absolutely. So the first topic in the second quarter here is the main factor you should use when determining when to start Social Security. And like Sam was cheating on my paper and saw my number one being longevity. The second thing is really when you need the money.
Right.
I've had many clients where I don't see how they can retire unless they draw, because they did not save well. They did not reduce their debts like I'd like to have. And that's comes a situation of, well, we just need the money.
Well, and it's unfortunately, when you need the money is not the whole picture, because you might need the money, but if you claim Social Security prior to your full retirement age, because of the earnings test, it may be that you're not going to get as much money as you thought anyway.
All right, explain earnings test and just the idea behind earnings test.
Let's go back to some of the basics. Social Security benefits can be claimed at 62, as early as age 62.
Right.
But if you claim your Social Security benefit before your full retirement age, which 62 would be, that benefit can be reduced if you earn more than a specified dollar amount. For this year, what is it, $21,240.
Yeah.
So
I that's one number I memorized, because people ask me, well, how much can I make? And I find my chart I have on my table, and $21,240. That's earned income, which means your job. Right. If you're working part-time, you're working 3 days a week, whatever, you got to make sure you don't make more than that. What happens if we make more than that, Sam?
That if you make more than $21,240 on an annual basis, for every $2 above that, $1 of your Social Security benefit is removed. So you can imagine if you made $42,000, you would have the benefit removed, $42,000. So
removed. Explain what that means.
They take it away. They won't pay it to you. Now, you're not losing that forever. If you're still working at age 62 to your full retirement age, and you didn't receive any benefit because you exceeded the annual earnings test each year, they would recalculate your benefit at your full retirement age. And after full retirement age, you can work and have as much earnings as you want,
right,
and claim your full Social Security benefit. It's prior to that full retirement age that you have to be, one, careful, and two, cognizant of the fact that that additional income that you've got may put your total Social Security benefit at risk.
Yes, I think of a movie quote that keep pulling me back in. And so this is my they keep pulling me back in story. I met with this client, the husband and wife, and the husband goes, yeah, I'm ready to retire. I'm going to draw Social Security right away. I'm never going back. I go back for a 6-month review. They pull me back in, and not part-time. And then I had to explain to him, I said, congratulations. But what happened was you basically are making so much money by being pulled back into your old job that now your Social Security is going to be all taken away. But thankfully, he was within that first year of drawing, and he could undo his draw by writing a check for everything he got paid back.
Yep.
He didn't like that answer, but we found the money, and we paid Social Security back and got it reset for him so that he could take that money down the road.
That's the importance of sitting down with an advisor who understands the consequences of claiming at the different retirement ages. And
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you there, Sam. The hardest part when it comes to planning is your situation, that person's exact situation. Like with spouses, there is the idea of, let me give you a scenario. So I have a husband and wife. Let's say the husband makes, let's give the husband the money in this case. The husband makes a lot of money. The spouse doesn't. The husband's going to keep working, but the spouse hits 62 and had a career, but might make $1,500 in Social Security benefit. The husband's might be, say, $3,600, something like really high up there. In that kind of case, would you ever advise the spouse to draw at 62, and then later on draw from the husband? Or that's a scenario that I come across a lot.
There used to be scenarios where you could do that. Mm-hmm. Those were claiming strategies that were pretty much eliminated in the the changes with Social Security. But one of the things I would say about two different dollar amounts, claiming the husband who makes a lot of money, spouse who doesn't make a lot of money, one of them is going to pass away.
Right.
And the problem with that is, you and I have had many discussions about this, is the double jeopardy that spouses are placed into, where now they have a reduced benefit. You don't get both benefits. You get the greater of the two, but your taxes are now taxed at a single rate as opposed to married filing jointly. So you have a reduced benefit and more taxes on the reduced benefit that you do get. That's a negative.
Okay, and that comment you used the word reduced benefit. That's because the family was getting 2 checks, and now they get 1, but they get the highest check.
They do. They get the higher of the 2.
Now, the other question I have right here is in Social Security, in my case, the lady, she's drawing 62, it's like $1,500 a month. The husband waited to 67 and drew $3,600. By drawing her early, she had a penalty. Does she switch completely to his number? Is that sort of the scenario with Social Security?
With Social Security, you're not entitled to a benefit. There's being eligible and being entitled. You're not entitled to a spousal benefit unless the worker upon whose record you're claiming a spousal benefit is actually claiming. So she
passed away.
Or passed away, yes. Right. So if she claimed on her own work record and her husband did not until his full retirement age, she could switch from her own work record to a spousal if it was greater. If it wasn't greater, it didn't do her any benefit.
But if she switches, if she starts out on her own and then switches to his, is there a penalty?
Switches to the spousal or to...
Yeah, let's go spousal in that example. So imagine that she's 62 and she's drawing Social Security on her own benefit. Now her husband's now 67 and they have a choice to make. She can get half of his, which is a little higher, or all of hers. Would she have that early penalty applied?
No, not on the spousal benefit.
Okay, that's the point I wanted to try to get across, is that this is probably the only concept that I've found when starting Social Security where if we have a high earner and a lower earner, where we draw early on the lower earner without losing all the future benefit. And I thought that's like the only cool scenario I could come up with recently. It's crystal as mud, or clear as mud, I guess, right, Sam?
It's true. And to throw a little bit of mud on there, the question is, of course, is the spouse still earning any income? Because the lower spouse, again, if you file before 67, you have the annual earnings test.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, so these all matter when you're thinking about drawing your Social Security and when to determine what's best for you. We talk about longevity making that matters. It does absolutely matter, because your age, how long you might be expected to live. If you're living into your 80s, you expect, probably waiting does make financial, mathematical sense. Now, at Akers Financial Group, we always love to do financial planning. And the reason we do that is because we think planning leads to the best advice for you. There is no cookie cutter scenario for us. We got to calculate your numbers. Now, at Akers Financial Group, we're local, we're independent. We don't report to a big company on Wall Street. We report to you. We do have offices in Lutherville and Barstow, clients all around this Mid-Atlantic region, and including some all around the world. Now, it's easy to begin winning in retirement. Just give us a call and schedule your meeting with one of our team of advisors. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting. Go to AkersFinancialGroup.com or call us at 833-946-7384 to start planning for your retirement now. When you reach Social Security age, will it even exist? We'll talk about this in a moment.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back to the radio show podcast, Winning in Retirement. I'm the host, Brian Akers. Here with me today is Sam Payne. He is a certified National Social Security Association, certified by them to be an instructor when it comes to Social Security and training, especially people like myself when it comes to Social Security. So the thing is that Sam always has a thick book with him when it comes to Social Security classes. But today we're just talking Social Security. We're not going to be able to give you every answer about your exact situation. And that's why we always offer you to sit down and talk with one of us at Akers Financial Group about your situation exactly to make the wisest decision when it comes to your retirement planning. So Sam Payne's been in financial services over 40 years, and welcome you to the second half of our show, Sam. So the second half means we just finished the halftime show. We had some good entertainment at halftime.
That was good. Yeah, that was great.
All right, so this show is called Starting Social Security, and we've covered some good topics so far, but we saved probably the hardest question we get asked for this right now. Let me bring it up. Then that question is this. Oh, wrong piece of paper. Where's that, Brian? Oh, there it is. When you reach Social Security age, will it even exist? How do you answer that, Sam?
That is a great question, and that's a question everybody asks you, both of us.
Oh, yeah.
I say, I believe it's going to be there. The question is, in what form?
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree that it'll be there in what form. So what do you mean by what form?
If you read your Social Security statement, you recognize that for years they've been warning that the trustees fund or the trust fund that the Social Security trustees use to pay benefits out of will go insolvent at some point in the future. That date has been creeping slowly forward. It's currently at 2033. If nothing happens, that insolvency will cause the Social Security Administration to reduce benefits for all beneficiaries by 24%.
Right.
I don't think this can happen. There are changes they can make to Social Security to protect that, but I think there are three specific groups that need to look at this, recognize that there is something in the winds out there, and it may have a change, may impact them.
Absolutely. So if you think about 24% reduction in your Social Security, that means if you get a $2,000 benefit, it's $1,500.
Right.
That's a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
Now, I like to think that they could design a plan that if you're already on it, not to reduce it. They're going to try to address people younger so that they have a longer time to plan for it.
Yes.
I can't imagine someone who wants to stay in office letting that sneak through where every voter that's drawing Social Security had a reduced benefit.
Yeah, no,
that'd be brutal.
What I would say, of the three groups, the group that should take notice, pay attention, is that group that's 10 to 15 years away from retirement, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
And because of that, the reason, why is that? I mean, why would you say that's the most group that should pay the most attention?
Because imagine this, that if you have a retirement plan of Social Security and no pension, and Social Security is all you plan on using, you have guaranteed yourself a poverty level for your retirement years. Mm-hmm. That will not be enough to keep up over time. It will not be enough to be the only source of your retirement income. If it's a majority of your retirement income, that's probably still wrong planning. And then if that's in government's hands where they could reduce in the future, you got to have another source of funds, another choice. We want you to have side investments, Roth IRAs, tax-free, things saved where you throw money to yourself. It's yo-yo, which is you're on your own.
Right.
So the idea is this: if we're going to face a possible reduction in any benefit, what are you going to do? Is there another bucket, another cash cow, another source of funds to get the money that your family needs?
Exactly. And it starts with something you and I talk about on a regular basis, and that's a budget. How much income do you need, and where's that income coming from? How much of that is going to be provided by Social Security?
And so when you're doing a retirement income plan, you do want to get your Social Security estimates. You want to look at when's the right time to make this work. You want to think about Social Security itself. If they reduce it, I'm hoping that the people in power would actually talk to each other and have a long-term plan for Social Security and make it mathematically work.
Right.
And that would be something that some people have been asking for since the 1990s, knowing that this problem was going to get worse and worse. Sad part is many times in government, they wait till it gets worse and then they blame it on each other, and then they have a short-term solution. The short-term solution, the problem is the longer you wait, the more money it needs. It's like it's a bigger fire.
It's a huge fire. And to answer your question, we both believe it will be there in some form. It may not be in the same form that we're seeing today, but it will be there. That in itself is reason to have a plan and have a plan B.
Absolutely.
In case they do make some changes.
Now, some people, they say, well, because it's going to be reduced in the future, should I just go ahead and draw early because of that being the reason? Mm-hmm. What kind of response do you give to that thought?
Well, I would never say a blanket statement. It works in our industry, as
Sure.
said before.
Yeah.
So claiming at 62 for everybody doesn't make sense, even if there's the threat that they're going to reduce the benefits later. We don't know for certain that they're going to reduce the benefits. I think there's going to be a myriad of changes. There will be some pain, but it's not going to be huge like cutting the benefits. So
the key thing here is this. In good, solid financial planning, what are some worst case scenarios in our future, and what can we do to make sure that we're okay? And that's exactly what we're trying to explain here is this. Will Social Security exist in the future? And the answer is, I believe, absolutely yes. Will it be the same form? We think the answer is no. There are going to be some changes.
Right.
Now, some of those changes have to do with what they're already doing. So let me ask a couple things trying to get the point across. The first thing, Sam, is when Social Security gives a cost of living, the Social Security cost of living is tied to Medicare premium.
Right.
How is it tied to Medicare premium?
if indeed the Medicare premium has gone up and you have not had to absorb that Medicare premium, then your increase, this cost of living increase, goes to the Medicare premium. So you can have Medicare premiums, increased Medicare premiums, eat up your cost of living adjustment.
Yeah, so effectively in 21 and 22, there's a weird year. I believe 21, the cost of living raise was high, but they took a large chunk from Medicare, like 11 or 14%.
Yes.
And then in 22, they had actually reduced the Medicare premium because they overdid their calculations on certain drugs and in their Medicare current year projection.
Right. And so when you see here an 8.7% cost of living adjustment,
sure.
Unfortunately, for many people, that doesn't mean they're going to have an 8.7% increase in their net take home, the amount they can spend. What's important is how much you get to spend, not how much they say they're giving you. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. So my understanding is that if you draw Social Security and the Medicare premium goes up, it will not go up more than the cost of living adjustment. So you won't get less Social Security the next year.
No.
Because of Medicare premium going up. That's fair to say?
That's fair to say.
If I wait to draw Social Security, then I would get whatever the Medicare premium's price is will keep rising.
Right.
All right.
Right. So your original question, does it make sense to claim at 62 because the benefit may go down in the future? That's an individualized answer. You can't answer that the same for everybody. I think everybody should be looking at that and doing their own math, doing their own plan, and a plan B, just in case there is a substantial change to Social Security. I don't think it's going to be as substantial as everybody's benefit being cut by 24%, but I believe there will be something.
Absolutely. Now, one of the ways I think is going to happen is that they're already showing their cards by Medicare. They have Medicare means testing.
Yes.
That's the subject called IRMA. Not going to cover it in great detail today. You can always call us and ask one of the advisors here, what's IRMA? Who's IRMA? Can I meet her? And we say, no, you don't want to meet IRMA.
You're right.
IRMA is where if you make more income that shows up in your tax return above $204,000 in 2023, that means your Medicare premium you pay will start to rise. It could double, it could triple based on your means, the amount of income you have.
Right.
This could be applied to something like Social Security income in the future.
And I think there will be some of that. The question is, what's the means? I think there will be some of that. I think there will probably be at least a discussion of extending that early retirement age from 62 to something else. Think about it. When Social Security was first created in 1935, the average mortality rate was 57, yet the retirement age was 65.
Yeah, that's good math there for a financial plan.
Yeah, well now
we're going to start the income, was it 8 years after you passed away?
8 years before you could even qualify.
Mathematically, it should work.
Yeah, well now it's exactly the opposite. Full retirement age is 67, yet the average age is 84 to 87, 20 years.
The funniest thing on Social Security, I believe that the first lady to ever drew to like 99.
Yes.
And so even their first assumption was wrong on the first person.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
A winning bet.
Yeah, so the idea is this. Will Social Security exist? And we think yes. Will they change some? Yes. But you need to build in your plan a way to handle Social Security and make it work best for you. Now, just to be totally off the wall, Sam.
Yep.
Social Security is income that comes in.
Yes.
It's taxable income to people. And so drawing it, you do need to do tax planning and income planning and see if postponing it is going to be a better thing to do for your overall financial plan. Is that all fair to say?
That's all part of the plan, yes. And you said the dirty word tax, and at the end of the day, a lot of people don't recognize that their Social Security benefit is taxable. Mm-hmm. It is up to 85% of it, depending on their income. And for most people, the full 85% is taxable.
And that's for federal for sure. And then there's 34 states that have a discounted taxation of Social Security or no taxation on Social Security. Maryland, that's my resident state. Maryland is actually has an exclusion. Once you hit 65, you pay full tax prior to 65. So you got to do your tax projections as you move forward. The other key factor on Social Security is you can have federal tax withholding, but when you apply, they actually don't do it right in that office. You got to go back later after you get your first check and have them apply taxes at that time. Now, Akers Financial Group, everything is going to be about you. When we're talking about retirement planning, retirement income planning, it all begins with your financial fingerprint. When you sit down with us, we start by taking a look at your financial fingerprint. We talk about you, where you are right now, what is your net worth, how do you invest your money, what are your current earnings, what are your future earnings, what are your estimates for your pension, your Social Security. All of that comes in together, and we talk about what you want your retirement to look like and feel like. That's your retirement fingerprint. Perhaps you've been sold something, regardless of whether you need it or not. Not at Akers Financial Group. With us, your retirement money follows your financial fingerprint. It's a retirement plan based on your unique fingerprint that determines where your money goes. It's not about us. It's about you. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE and schedule an in-person or Zoom meeting with one of our team of advisors. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. 833-946-7384 or visit our website at akersfinancialgroup.com. Scroll down to the button at the bottom of our homepage and schedule a meeting right there. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE and also go to akersfinancialgroup.com. Should you include Social Security in your retirement plan? Let's talk about that when we return for the final quarter of Winning in Retirement in just a moment.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back. This is Brian Akers. I'm president and founder of Akers Financial Group and host of our radio podcast, Winning in Retirement. Here with me today is Sam Payne. Sam Payne is certified by the National Social Security Association as an instructor, and I have him here today to talk to us about Social Security And our topic is called Starting Social Security. So if you're just listening right now, you've been driving around, and you want to catch this a little bit later, hey, you go to our website, AkersFinancialGroup.com. Yeah, the Akers is spelled Akers. It's Akers, not the land. But if you type in AkersFinancialGroup.com, it goes right to our website, and you'll see the radio podcast tab. You hit that, and you'll see our shows right there. You can also hear our podcast on any podcast listening device by typing in Winning in Retirement. You know we all want to win in retirement, right?
Absolutely.
Winning in retirement is going to be about preparing. You got to practice and get everything in alignment so that you can win. It's not a if you're going to win, it's a you're going to win because you did the work. Listening to talk shows like this can help educate you and lead you to an action. And that action should be this. Take advantage of our free time to sit down and talk about your situation and see how we can help you. How our team of advisors can help you where you are. We start by understanding you through a financial fingerprint, and we build the advice for you. That's exactly what we're trying to talk about here. Now, Sam Payne, you ready for the fourth quarter?
I'm ready.
This is like winning time. This is when you got to put the ball across the in line for the touchdown.
I'm here. Yep.
You got to get the last out of the inning to finish the game.
Sink the left final 3 point.
You got to run your last second play. Make sure you get a legitimate high percentage shot so you can win the game. Yep. And you got to make sure you're doing planning to make sure our long retirement years are well planned out. So starting Social Security is the main topic, but the idea here in the fourth quarter is this. Should you include Social Security in your retirement plan? That's an easy question, right, Sam? Can you handle that question for me?
The answer is absolutely. Why shouldn't you? I mean, if you think about it, you talked about preparation allows you to win games, and part of that preparation is first and foremost knowing who your opponent is and coming up with a plan on how to best them. The plan is what's important. The plan is the thing everybody needs, and Social Security is and should be a part of almost every American's retirement income plan.
What if I just take the counterpoint just for a second?
Okay.
So the counterpoint is someone is pre-retirement. They're looking ahead.
Yeah.
And if we don't include Social Security in that future plan, that sort of motivates them to build their side investments, their side income. They're building their wealth in another way so that Social Security, they're not relying on it greatly. Have you ever done a plan like that where you just, okay, Social Security is going to be there, but let's not count it? Have you ever done that when you talk to people?
Absolutely. Not for the most Americans, but absolutely. And that's the best type of planning there is.
For younger, right? The younger they are, possibly, hey, let's get you financially independent on your own so that you can actually retire before Social Security age.
And that's a great conversation for those who have the time to continue to save. And that's, you and I both have had those conversations. That's one of those groups that 20 plus years from retirement should keep their head down, work hard, save more on their own for their own retirement.
You got to push that money to your own future. Social Security will have a version there, and that'll be money that you can count on. People are pretty amazed right now at how much money comes from Social Security and how they can affect their planning. Now, in planning, I want to talk about this topic. I'm going to try to explain, Sam, the way I use it to the listener. What I'd like you to do is give me good and bad things about my thought.
Okay.
So the person comes in with a lot of money all in their retirement plan at work, $2 million, $4 million, or more in their pre-tax retirement plan. And so we generally have a tax problem. I call it being retirement poor, in that all of their money is not all their money. So if they had $4 million in their account and we're going to pull taxes out, it's really going to be worth like $3 million, because $1 million of it's going to the state and the federal taxes because of being pre-tax. And now the issue would be is how can we get this money to tax-free? I like to do Roth conversion, and in some cases, I say once you fully retire, instead of drawing Social Security, give us a few years to postpone drawing Social Security, keep your income lower so that we can really convert a lot of your pre-tax money over. Now, the hardest part is I'm pulling money out and paying tax with cash and not giving them income. So that's been a problem. It's like, well, Brian, I'm going to have to eat. Well, where does that money come from?
True. And that unfortunately, it's hard to get clients to recognize looking down the road, because you talked about the taxes coming out. The problem with the taxes is we don't know what those taxes are going to be. We know what they are for the next 2 years, is it?
Two more. There's 23, 24, and 25. Those years are at the current tax rate under the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, and then they will sunset and the rates will jump up. So there's a golden time here to pay tax.
Yep. The strategy you're using is a perfect strategy. Anybody who doesn't understand how that works needs to take a close look at our federal debt, our current tax rates, and what those tax rates really can and should go to at some point in the future, and knowing that all the money you've saved in those qualified accounts, those pre-tax accounts, are going to be taxed at a rate that you don't know.
Right.
It could be a lot more than what we assume. It could be less, probably not with the debt we've got, but probably a lot more than what we're assuming currently, and that's a huge negative.
Now, let's say you're in a meeting, Sam, and the client's sitting across the table, and they're talking about their retirement plan, and they say, Sam, when should I draw Social Security? Is there an age that I should draw? What is that perfect age to draw?
My answer is no. I'd have to look at your overall scenario.
Sure.
And explain why you maybe wouldn't want to claim at 62, or why you'd want to wait till 65 or 67, or why your scenario might be best accomplished or best optimized if you wait till age 70. That's one of the things you do at Akers Financial, and we do with clients on a regular basis. Explain to them the different scenarios and which one best helps them achieve their desired goals.
Now, at 65, just a little bit of information out there. If you're 65 years old and you've applied for Medicare and they're billing you every quarter if you're not drawing Social Security, so you get a quarterly bill for Medicare.
Right.
If you're drawing Social Security, it comes out of your Social Security check.
Yes.
Now, your Social Security check, when does it come? Like if I'm saying to someone, hey, you're going to get your Social Security check next month, generally, how does Social Security do that?
It's in the 10th.
It's like a Wednesday, right?
Yeah, certain days of the month, yes.
Yeah, and that's the printout days. I think it's funny that people like to know exactly what day, and I'm like, when's your birthday? So I'm guessing it's a Wednesday for you. And not until it gets going. And then Social Security only does direct deposit now?
Yes.
That's an interesting thing for some people because they don't like electronic.
Yes, I can see that. I mean, I can understand that, but we're in a technology world, and the technology is getting more and more secure on a regular basis.
All right. I feel like I got to ask all these tough questions before I let you go for the day. So there's the next one is this. We're doing retirement planning, and we're entering in the financial plan a cost of living to the future on our Social Security income. Mm-hmm. What's the number we should assume to the future, or should we not assume any raises in cost of living when we're planning to the future on Social Security?
That's a great question because the cost of living has been up and down. You've seen some COLA increases that are in the north of 8%. You've seen years where we've had zero increases. I think, and I probably would agree, that right around 3.5% for a cost of living makes sense. Here's the problem, though. The financial issues that the Social Security Trust Fund is in are exaggerated substantially by cost of living increases. So they need to limit those, yet they still need to give those because of inflation that we're going through right now. The trustees are in a very, very, very tight position.
So like there's a lot of video games and there's things out there, and when you play those games, there's things called cheats.
Yep.
Cheats are where you have a way to always win. And so my thought on Social Security planning is this. Let's lowball it in our planning. Let's do what's your benefit, and let's use 0 or 1%. So if they give us cost of living, that's a win. That's more than we had planned for. And if our plan works at 1%, then we're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Also, the assumption is if 10 years from now they lower it, it's already built into our plan because we didn't have an escalating piece. So even at 3%, when you do your math, that means Social Security would double in a 24-year retirement. By lowering it to 1%, you're not going to see a double in your planning numbers. Right. So this planning concept of building out your financial plan when you're playing with that software, we do use a lower assumption all the way down to 1 because of the fact of let's set a low bar and see if we're okay. And then anything better than that is better than that. And then we made it the wise decision.
I agree with you 100%. The COLA, if indeed it is an average of 3%, you as a Social Security recipient aren't going to see that full 3%. Because Medicare increased premiums are going to eat up some of that. Yeah,
they're going to give you money and pull it right out of the other pocket almost immediately, and you'll net out 0 to 1. They'll never go below into a negative currently. When you talk about debt for the federal government, one of the projected debts, the largest one is the Medicare plan, right, and the cost of it. So that is, was it $1 trillion long-term problem. It's a huge number.
Crazy, yeah.
So the idea is this: starting Social Security. What is best for you? Well, the best for you is to sit down with a financial advisor to talk about your Social Security. You need to go to ssa.gov, and check out your Social Security estimates, get your numbers, understand what's going on there, and get that estimate, and then bring that in to talk about your exact situation.
Right.
And in using that spreadsheet, we can see all the different dates and all the timing of when to draw, right, Sam?
Absolutely. Longevity, difference in ages of spouses, health, when you go to retire, all those things need to be taken into consideration.
Oh, it really matters when you have a spouse age differential of 4 to 8 years or 10 years. Yep. When do you draw? How do you draw? Definitely a case-by-case basis on that. And
yes.
I had lots of advice there, but we don't have time for that.
I know. We're running out of it.
Well, our class today is going to be dismissed here, Sam. And thank you very much for coming in, talking to Winning in Retirement listeners and going over how to start Social Security and giving us your information, your stats, and help us guide us through how to advise our clients, which is very, very, very good for us.
Thanks for having me here. I love it.
I appreciate that. Now, this show went quick, and you're probably like, oh, what did they say? Hey, well, go to our website, akersfinancialgroup.com, hit the radio tab. Right below there, you'll see all the radio shows we've had, and you'll see that over the years, we have lots of topics, but you can click the starting Social Security topic and hear this again. Of course, you can fast forward to that. On the radio, we can't fast forward us no matter what you want to do. So it's this. Go to our website, check us out. We look forward to meeting with you. In fact, we want you to win in your retirement by taking advantage of this opportunity to begin planning with us at Akers Financial Group. To schedule your free meeting with one of our team of advisors, go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com. Scroll to the schedule meeting section and let us know you'd like to schedule your free meeting. That's akersfinancialgroup.com. Or you can call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. And we'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Go to akersfinancialgroup.com or call us at 833-946-7384. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Akers Financial Group offers securities through Archedios Capital, an SIPC and FINRA member firm. Advisory services are provided through Archedios Wealth. Akers Financial Group and Archedios do not share any common ownership. Neither Archedios nor Akers Financial Group provides tax or legal advice. Advice given on winning in retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, and or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment. Examples and scenarios shared are meant to be for illustrative purposes only. Past performance is not indicative of future results.